Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See detail.
There's no better feeling than a personal win. And the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you do just that. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Online.com today. And now, live from the TCL broadcast studios, it's Joe Souchere and Patrick Royce with Sports Talk.
Are you fellas watching the Twins game on Facebook?
We have it in here live on the Facebook.
Did you get it on the computer or
yeah.
on the regular TV? Are we into the bottom of the ninth?
Bottom of the ninth. Bases are loaded up. 3-2 count.
Top of the ninth.
Top of the ninth. I'm sorry. And
who's Chuck? Oh, for Fernando's in there having thrills and chills, huh?
But in his defense, Miguel threw into his buddy Polanco at second, and Polanco's had kind of a butcher of a day. Mm-hmm. Fernando got out of it with just one run. Now we're going to the bottom of the ninth. Cleveland up 2-0.
My guy Brad Hand on the hill.
Yes, he finished the eighth, so I don't know if he's coming out for the ninth. We don't know
if he's bringing out Cody Allen or what he's doing. I saw that Andrew Miller has pitched 2 nights in a row, so he's probably going to be there next Monday when the Twins get to Cleveland. That left-handed lineup ought to have fun with Brad Hand and Andrew Miller in the late innings of the.
That's why we needed Logan Forsythe.
We got it. He didn't play today, though, right?
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't start. He must have pinch hit for.
He actually ended the eighth with a ground ball double play. Francisco Lindor made a fantastic play to get.
He can do that. Mm-hmm. Here's some very good news for that 6:48 a.m. I think United Airlines flight from Rochester, New York to Minneapolis.
What do you got?
The Twins and the Red Wings have extended their player development contract. So all those Twins who get sent here from Rochester will have their flight to get here. And it's funny how when they're coming this direction, they all make that early morning flight. They're all there. I think it's a United Airlines flight. I mentioned it a while back because they bring guys coming and going.
So not many missed that flight, is what you're saying.
Our boys, they renewed it through 2020, so it's a 2-year extension. And they've been the Twins AAA Farm Club for 18 years now. And Rochester, of course, as a baseball town, goes back to organized baseball before the start of the 20th century. They're back from the late 1800s.
Who was our AAA before? Why am I?
Oh, we had Toledo for a while.
Okay.
I remember a good friend of mine who used to sit out on that deck at Met Stadium, in the second deck there, on those afternoons when there'd be 1,800 people there on a nice sunny afternoon, and when somebody did something bad, he would shout, Toledo!
Just for entertainment.
Yes, he would do that. And the funny thing is, he sold tickets for the Twins, the guy who did this. But this is when you didn't have a big ticket-selling staff, the great Jack Blasey. Toledo!
Was it Salt Lake? Were they?
They were in Salt Lake, and Salt Lake threw them out and took the Angels.
Okay.
Good trade, huh?
I loved that name, the Salt Lake Buzz.
Buzz, yep. I went out there and probably, the mid-'90s. They had this old character who bought the team, who owned the team, Joe some damn thing. And he was in his 80s. He was a walking sexual harassment machine.
No.
It was unbelievable. And, of course, it was 20 years ago.
Right, when they probably
weren't reporting. He was 80 years old, so he got away with it. But, man alive, it was unbelievable. But it was a great ballpark, beautiful, cool evenings in the summer. Never gets
I can imagine, right?
Altitude. They don't get real hot. It was a gorgeous ballpark. And they were in Tacoma for a while. Toledo. They were in Evansville, Illinois at one time was a AAA farm
club. Was it Portland? Weren't they in Portland for a bit?
They were in Portland. I think Gardy was in Portland with, they had one of the worst teams of all time out there with Charlie Manuel as the manager. And Edmonton, they were in Edmonton briefly, too.
Really? I did not know that. I remember Portland.
Yeah, Edmonton. AAA is, I don't know if they have any teams left in Canada or not. Ottawa's in a league, but I'm not sure it's AAA. But they abandoned. They went through a lot of them. This is a long run of stability to be in Rochester this long. Although Rochester used to sign 4-year extensions, I think they weren't real happy with their club there in 15 or 16, and they only signed a 2-year extension this time. So, but they go back to they were the Orioles farm club for years. And all those great Orioles, Don Baylor and Boog Powell and that whole collection came through Rochester. They had great teams there. Bobby Grich, those guys all played at Rochester.
You know what I didn't realize? My wife was down visiting her sister last weekend. I didn't realize Iowa has 4 minor league teams.
Midwest League. Oh, yeah. Well, they got Iowa. They got AAA. They got the Oaks in Des Moines.
Yeah.
Then they got Cedar Rapids.
Yep.
Quad Cities.
Come on.
And Clinton.
Yeah,
no,
boy.
Clinton's,
yes.
I think Burlington is considered Illinois, right? It's right on the border.
It's right on the border, yeah.
And yes, they do. I believe Clinton might have been where Paul Molitor played his 1 minor league season, if I'm not mistaken. But I might be mistaken.
Okay.
Well.
Uh-oh.
What? Oh, yes. Market.
Yeah, very important.
I wanted to mention that Manny Hill, not only do we have Manny Hill arriving late, we had the mayor leaving early.
Yep.
And he has authority from somebody, we don't know who, maybe from himself, to leave early on 5 Wednesdays during the golf season. 3 have been used, but right now, this will be marked on the official sheet of paper.
Let me just open the tabernacle here.
Yes, right. Mark it down. Mark it down.
There's 4.
So all that's missing is the line that goes across the middle to signify 5.
It's a double whammy. You're done.
People don't believe this. We got it right here on the window. We're keeping it there.
I mean, that's as official as it gets.
Yes,
on a yellow Post-it note.
Yes, that
right
is
here.
official.
It's going out right now. Mayoral Wednesdays.
Rookies
this is the official sign.
Snapping a pic.
We're going to send it out.
He made it to August with 4. He's. I got a hunch maybe the Wednesday before the fair starts, he might slip out early, huh?
That's a good
number
one.
5.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That'll be number 5.
That is a good one because we got the long grind of the Minnesota State Fair coming up in just a couple of short weeks.
I got to close it and lock the door.
There it is. Don't let him get in and alter it.
No.
We don't want that altered.
He would try to. Ernst & Young is here, and they verified that the number is 4.
The same people who do the Academy Awards, Price Waterhouse, I believe.
Yes, that's where they're here too. So we're all
this one doing that. Yes,
I'm going to send it out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and all that other stuff.
Well, and then I had a little extra duty for Manny today, and now he's showing up late. You know what I'm going to do?
He was unavoidably detained.
I bought one of those grandma peanut butter cookie packages.
Oh, yeah?
I'm going to tell Manny, hey, Manny, I got a butterscotch cookie for you. We'll get to see his face blow up.
No, we can't do that.
Addiction. We'll get a little revenge on him, get to see his head go
Yeah,
whoosh.
that might be a little too grand.
It's kind of counterproductive, wouldn't it?
I guess it would be.
To put a guy out of commission for about a month?
Yes. Just because you said, boy, I wish he'd been here 10 minutes earlier. Yeah, that might be that could be an overreaction.
A little bit.
Could. So what are we doing in the bottom of the 9th? Is Brad Hand still on the hill?
Yeah, he struck out poor Joe to lead off the inning, and he just got Eddie to chase. We got 2 out, nobody on.
Eddie's got a little snooze going here. Eddie's got a little snooze
Mauer's pitch was outside. He was called out looking, but it was
no, it wasn't.
Yeah, that was not a strike.
So,
but we're on. So
I went over and talked to that young man this morning, Brad Hand, and this would be no bad luck intended for the Fighting Twinks here, but this would be a fortuitous for me if he gets the last 5 outs here.
For your for maybe something that you have put together.
Right.
Yeah, I gotcha.
I still haven't hacked it out because I had other duties, but I got.
This can't be the first time you've sat down and chatted with Brad, is it?
Hell, I sat down and chatted with Brad when he was a senior in high school on April 30th, 2008. It was about 30 degrees out in Chaska. They had a night game, and there were 50 scouts there freezing to death.
Oh, man.
And he ended up going in the second round. We have not had many high school pitchers in the state of Minnesota go in the second round.
There was the Brown kid, right? Last name Brown that was drafted high?
Well, there's been
Was he a Rochester kid?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
There's been a few, but it doesn't happen with
no,
great
it does not.
regularity,
You're right.
to say the least. So
it does not.
Yeah, he's married, couple of kids. He's got an 8-monther and a 2.5-year-old, he said. So, and, he was drafted in the second round by Miami. Miami released him, put him on waivers, and San Diego claimed him, and now he's been in 2 straight All-Star games. And now he's might be going to the World Series.
Timing is everything, huh?
Yes, it is. We'll be back, and
Speaking of timing,
we're gonna throw out the names of 10 very important individuals to this station when we come back. I'm a little upset here. I'm looking at the list of the 10 finalists for the Sportscaster Idol contest.
Yes.
I don't see anybody named Randy.
Oh, no. Did Randy not submit?
Randy. Well, he might have submitted, and maybe he didn't make the cut. Brad Lane and Phil Mackey narrowed the list down to 10. I don't see a Randy in here.
Oh, Randy's going to be a little disappointed, huh?
I'm trying to look at, now the public's supposed to vote here. You go to the Sportscaster page, and then you can listen to their audition tapes by, calling each of the individual up. And there's going to be 4 people at the State Fair on Super Talk Saturday who are chosen. We got Casey Johnson. We got Paul Pedro, Max Baker, Giotto Troia, Troia.
Okay.
Jade Cook, Spencer Knott, Vincent Wright, Isaac Johnson, Jess Hitz-Graff, Hitz, 3 names, and Graham Zimma. Now, I heard that we had one lady in the final 10, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure who that is.
Would that be Jess?
Jade Cook, perhaps.
Or Jess.
Or it could be Jess Hitz-Graff. Or it could even be Giotto Troia, right? I don't know if Giotto looks more like a male name, doesn't it? Casey Johnson. Could be Casey Johnson. Anyway, that's the 10, and you can go and help us out.
I tried to beg my way into this contest. I want to be the one and only judge, and I'm going to. If it were me chosen as a judge, we're going to do this publicly out in the State Fair,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
Each person has 30 seconds before they get
impress you, huh?
Before they get pushed off.
Just
the
like
stage.
the Gong Show, they get the big old hook too.
As a matter of fact, we should have one of those dunk tanks. Actually,
ooh, I like that.
And instead of throwing a pitch at the thing, I just hit a button.
No,
boom,
you stink. You're gone.
Yeah.
Take a drink.
Hi, everybody. My name is blah, blah, blah. And then
Let me tell you about the Twins. This is my tank. The first tank, the only tank, the best.
Right into the water.
You know, Babu, the great Babu, gopher lover that she is, and she's a big fundraiser for the LLS Society, lymphoma and leukemia, or leukemia and lymphoma, I don't know which. And she went on Twitter to suggest that I should, at their gopher fundraiser for this, that I should go over there and submit to the dunk tank, right?
Yeah.
That sounds like a good idea.
I said, okay, 5 dunks, $2,000 apiece. People pay $2,000 apiece.
I don't think anybody's going to
Nobody's, apparently nothing has happened.
Yeah, no,
he's done like a fox. They didn't call him back, did they?
It's a $2,000 write-off if you're going to give some money to a worthwhile cause.
That's true.
You can watch me go in the dunk tank. If you think I'm that anti-Gopher, they should have come up with 5 people who would put up 5,000 apiece. We could have made 10,000.
Big donors, some big hobnobbers.
The guy's making $4 million a year.
How much? I don't have that kind of money. How much would it cost me to just throw a beer at you? Can I get that done for $100?
Out of a glass, right? Not the bottle.
No. I just throw it. Yeah.
Oh, I'd let people do that.
$100.
It'd have to be more than that. Maybe 300 apiece. 300 apiece. Throw beer at me.
No,
come on. I thought, honest to God, I thought there might be enough.
That's not a bad
idea.
There
might be enough rich Gopher lovers who hated me to do it, but
who get sucked in every time you send out a tweet or something that's fishing or right.
Anyway, I was very disappointed. I never heard from her again, though. So apparently, no volunteers.
You're dumb like a fox, right?
Well, yeah, but that isn't an outrageous sum for getting me over there to show off all the muscles and everything, and sit there and get dunked in cold water. That should be worth $2,000, shouldn't it?
Think so.
You could while you're sitting up there, you could do that thing where you flex these muscles so your boobs kind of move a little bit,
Right.
Oh yeah, that's that AWA All-Star Wrestling thing.
Right.
Where you talk to the camera and your boobs are winking.
Some people call that an invite.
or does that cost extra? Maybe that's $2,500.
Yeah, that could
Those
be.
boobs are winking
I
at
don't
me.
know. Anyway, I knew they were all frauds, so that proves that. I knew they were a bunch of cheap frauds. Big Gopher boosters, but cheap frauds in their whole soul, So anyway, hey, we lose. Twinks lose.
Yep, it's official.
2-0. Carrasco goes to the. Did he get to the 8th and then Brad Hand, or is there somebody else in between?
7th.
Somebody else must have relieved before Brad Hand.
I was only checking in on it because it was on Facebook Live.
How many complaints did we get today from people about the Twins not being on?
I don't know if my dad called or not.
Can we start with me? That's the dumbest damn idea I've ever heard.
There's 2 of them now.
Wow.
2 of they've done it twice, and
it serves no purpose to put it on to Facebook.
You know what else we had today at the Twins game was a guy with really bad timing. We had the proposal cam at a day game after the trade deadline. That guy was not thinking.
What do you mean?
He had the proposal. He did the, hey, are you going to marry me at the, on the Jumbotron deal.
Yes, but what's that have to do with the trade deadline?
Well, everyone's down in the club. It's the whole mood around the team is sour. I'm assuming so.
Did you? You didn't? Oh, that's right. You didn't see it.
Yeah.
So. I guess there were several of them today.
You really want to be sure. You really want to have a good indication.
No. If you decide to ask a girl to marry you at a ball game, it's because you are overachieving badly and you want to put her in an embarrassing situation where she can say yes.
Okay.
Every one of these I've ever seen, I've never said, boy, is that girl lucky to get him. Not a one.
Yeah.
Dork City, usually with a good-looking gal who's got options. But this guy's trying to blackmail her into marrying him.
Yeah, get up and run, hon.
Yeah.
Not only
I
that.
think a lot of them say yes, act emotional, and then they get outside and throw the ring back at him.
Like at a baseball game, dummy? At a baseball
Thanks for
game?
embarrassing me, you bleep.
But we did have the kiss cam a couple weeks ago at a ballpark where the woman, they focused in on him for kiss cam, and the woman flipped him the bird.
Nice. Nice.
Again, Krabby Coffee Shop potential.
I ain't kissing this mutt.
Right.
Not kissing this mutt. Hey, Lance Lynn pitched for the Yankees today. The pinstripes didn't prove to be slimming for him. But he's clean-shaven, short haircut. The Yankees' grooming policies got to him when he got there. All right, we'll be back.
All right, we will be back. Bruce Vail is waiting in his New Jersey cubbyhole. He's got the Your Money Now report, and it comes to us courtesy of Owatonna's own Federated Insurance. You got any good news this afternoon, Bruce?
Who was that pitcher for the Yankees? Lancelot Link? Is that who he said it was?
No. Let's
different guy?
Yeah, that's a different guy.
Oh, okay.
That was the Knights of the Octagonal Table.
Oh, okay. Not a great day today. Yeah, kind of so-so. Investors looking at earnings and what the White House might do with tariffs against China. Stocks ended up mixed at the close. The tech sector did bounce back a bit after 4 days of sell-offs. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 81 points, closing at 25,333. The Nasdaq Composite gained 35 points. The S&P 500 lost just 2 points. It's getting harder to enjoy a salad these days. The Department of Agriculture issued a public health alert for certain salads and wraps sold by several retailers, including Trader Joe's, Kroger, and Walgreens. The warning covers a number of items containing chopped romaine lettuce. The government has received a warning from a lettuce supplier regarding lettuce potentially contaminated with cyclospora, which could lead to intestinal illness. The unnamed candy company that purchased candy maker Necco from Round Hill Investments last week has tapped Union Confectionery Machinery to sell off some of Necco's assets and intellectual property. Necco wafers, Sweethearts, and Canada Mints are not being sold, but other candy brands will go up for sale, including Mary Jane, Clark Bar, Haviland Thin Mints, and Candy Buttons. I'm Bruce Bale with Your Money Now on 1500 ESPN.
Okay, Bruce, away you go. We'll talk again tomorrow. Checking traffic here. This report sponsored by USA Network. South on 169 from 494 down to 494. Riding the brakes pretty hard. A 15-minute drive right now. We did have a little bit of a delay cooking on northbound 169 approaching Pioneer Trail. It looks like those levels have eased. From
Bruce Vail talking about Candy Buttons.
Yeah, what was that?
Candy Buttons. I think she was due to perform at Mettler's about a half hour before I left on Saturday in Mankato. I think
stepping to the stage, Miss Candy Buttons. Give this 47-year-old gal a big round of applause. Ignore the surgical scars.
She's come out of retirement.
Her 23-year-old son sitting in the audience tonight.
I don't know. I wasn't there for any of the entertainment, but you do have college girls looking for a little extra money down there, probably in Mankato. So. I'm guessing that they're.
That was oddly specific, Mr. Olson. It seems like it happened in the first person.
Mom, quit calling me out from stage.
And we would call her, and then her daughter, Candy Buttons Jr., would be in there.
Oh my God!
All right, here's John.
It's a family business.
He's back, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank goodness.
No kidding.
It's partly.
I never thought I'd see Kenny. Actually, happy to see you.
He refused my advances, Patrick. I offered to kiss him on the mouth.
Well, that's what he said. Ran down the hall and said, "I'll kiss you on the mouth."
Johnny, I know I mentioned this the other day, but I know Kenny's in rough shape when he just walks by your area, which I hate sitting at in the first place, and just said, God, the Beatles are so overrated. And then I'll return and just say, yeah, I agree. He's like, well, this isn't any fun.
It doesn't work that way, Chris. You have to fight back.
To get mad. It's 77 degrees out there. Twins, they went down 2-0 to the Cleveland Indians today at Target Field. The Indians taking the series 2-1. The Twins managed only 5 hits off Carlos Carrasco and Brad Hand. They are off tomorrow, the Twins. They'll start a 3-game series against the Kansas City Royals on Friday.
Yeah, we'll get them next week in Cleveland.
Yep.
When they got Andrew Miller to go with Brad Hand.
Close the gap?
Yeah.
On the road?
Yeah. I was in the clubhouse this morning early. I saw a lack of spunk.
Yeah.
I think the fellas have accepted their fate.
News notes from today. A tip to a poacher's hotline has resulted in charges against a southern Minnesota couple who investigators say that were found with nearly 300 crappies after fishing on Fairmont's Lake Sisseton.
300?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. State Department of Natural Resources says the possession...
Can you imagine cleaning those, Pat?
Especially in August. You don't even want crappies in August. You want
they're
cold water. Yeah.
Stinky and full of worms.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, that's true. He's telling the truth.
Gross.
In a southern lake?
Ugh.
A southern lake, they got to, you can't, you must have been going to feed them to the pigs or something.
The State Department of Natural Resources says the limit for crappies in the state is 10. 70-year-old Isovan Zayachak
and his wife, 60-year-old Chanthon Fongsim, are charged with possession of fish over the limit. They face possible fines and orders for restitution that could end up being $3,000 if they're found guilty. Minnesota Conservation Officer Dustin Miller says the case is an example of how anonymous informants under the Turn-In Poachers or TIP program can help in protecting state resources. As the anonymous tip was strong because it was immediate and included solid information.
We just keep as pet.
It's hard to get all bent out of shape about somebody keeping 300 crappies.
Yeah, it's not like walleye.
Yeah, or deer or anything else. I mean, come on, it's stupid crappies.
Geese, 300 geese. You can get 300 geese. That's okay.
That's not enough.
Right.
Between July 6th and July 22nd, Minnesota law enforcement officers issued more than 16,000 citations for unsafe speeds and seatbelt violations during an extra speed enforcement campaign. The Department of Public Safety said 14,661 citations issued for the speeds and a little over 1,600 for seatbelt violations. A number of law enforcement agencies reported a number of drivers driving at speeds over 100 miles an hour. During the campaign, officers also reported a number of excuses for speeds.
Yeah, this is part of their campaign to mock the public, the people they serve.
It is. Yeah.
They love mocking them. Their Twitter account shows no personality whatsoever. It's all speed kills and all this BS until they do a speed enforcement thing, and then they love mocking us.
Yeah,
That's a fundraiser is what it is, right?
What were some of the mocks, Johnny?
Some of the excuses were,
I had to go to the bathroom.
Just picked up a glass cake pan from a friend, excited to get home and start cooking.
Okay, well, I would have let him know.
I would give them a warning.
There was
making cake.
Trying to make it to Taco Bell before it closes.
Well, that's a good
2 food-based responses.
Trying to get air into
Taco Bell closes at 2 a.m., so why wasn't that person
sorry, but I have a problem with a state organization mocking us. This doesn't work for me.
Trying to get air in my truck because the AC is broken.
Yeah, whatever.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
One man told officers he recently bought his new motorcycle and, quote, wanted to go fast. That particular fella.
Why is that even mentioned? I mean, that's the urge of everybody who's ever slung their leg over a bike. It's not mockable.
You're pretty bitter about this.
Yeah, I am. This has been driving me crazy for years.
Kenny's
these
bitter,
morons. They have the worst Twitter account in the history of Twitter, and then they come out and start mocking us because somebody's going 15 miles over the limit because speed kills. Oh my God!
Anybody say that they didn't know how fast they were going because they were drunk?
No.
Okay.
The guy on the bike, though, Kenny, he was doing 120.
Okay.
Yeah.
50.
And I'll bet you that bike I bet you could get it up to 180 if he wanted.
When you swing the old leg over the old seat and pull down the old throttle, you want to see the old road. You want to get there.
Pull down the throttle. You twist the throttle.
Something like that.
And you red line it. Let me help you with
You're
your
running up the red. I'm trying to get to the red line. Yeah. Where is
the red line?
I'm trying to find it.
It's just hilarious that in certain states it's 75, 80 miles per hour, but in this state 80 miles an hour is speed kills. Well, get over yourselves.
We should have a video of Rook doing a little shop talk with the fellas.
Yeah, I think so.
We bikers. You know, a lot of times we are misunderstood. They think we're really tough, and I look at Kenny. He thinks I'm going to get my ass kicked by the rookie because he has a motorcycle.
I do think that,
right, so
but it's one of those step-through motorcycles where you can keep your knees together because you're wearing a skirt.
Well, you're going pretty fast. You might get a little cold, so you want a little shawl to put over your legs,
like an Afghan.
Like an Afghan. Thank you. You understand each other. I appreciate that.
President Trump suggesting today that his former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, has been treated worse than Al Capone. He tweeted, looking back on history, who was treated worse, Alphonse Capone, legendary mob boss, killer, and public enemy number one, or Paul Manafort, political operative and Reagan Dole darling, now serving solitary confinement, although convicted of nothing. Manafort, longtime Republican operative, is currently on trial for charges of tax and bank fraud in Alexandria, Virginia.
How about the man last night suggesting that you needed a photo ID to buy groceries?
I hope that's not
Trumpster? Yes.
Yes.
One of his speeches, he said you needed a photo ID.
Are you sure he wasn't just referring to alcohol?
He was talking about IDs when we require IDs for all these things, including buying groceries, he said.
Resident in a North Carolina
Was
town.
he trying to be funny?
No.
Oh.
He was trying to be stupid, and he doesn't have to try very hard.
Residents
Like Ernie Els, he is not burdened with a complex mind.
Residents in the North Carolina town hoping to read the comics with Sunday Coffee are in for a rude awakening, and the newspapers blaming it all on President Trump.
Of course they are.
The Robesonian in Lumberton announced it's dropping its 8-page color comic section from Sunday editions. Their editorial last week said it made the not-so-funny decision to cut the comics because of rising costs spurred by Trump administration tariffs on Canadian newsprint. The editorial said this newspaper has made the difficult decision to drop the Sunday comics, a decision that we really believe was made at the White House. Instead, the newspaper will run a single page of black and white comics and puzzles. The newspapers across the country are reeling after tariffs put in place in March increased newsprint prices.
I'm at the point where I hope he gets a second term. I really do. Just to keep you idiots angry. Just to keep you angry.
Yeah,
newsprint
is going crazy, though.
25 to 30% it's increased since the tariffs.
Vote Trump.
Placed in there.
Second term, baby.
The restaurant owner in Tucson, Arizona, shocked to receive an envelope stuffed with $1,000 in cash last week. A letter that accompanied the money explained the reason behind it, but the sender is still anonymous.
Drug deal.
Nope. 72-year-old Carlotta Flores, who's been at the helm of El Charro Cafe for 40 years, got the handwritten note from someone who said they were a former employee. That letter said, I worked for you as a waitress briefly back in the 1990s.
And I robbed you blind for years.
One of the waiters I worked with had encouraged me to forget to ring a few drinks a shift and pocket the cash.
Okay.
And for some stupid reason, I did, the letter read.
Why is she blaming another waiter? Just take the onus on yourself.
The anonymous sender explained that she grew up in the church and knew better than to steal. She sent $1,000, 10 $100 bills. Flora was very happy to get the payment, especially since she had been mugged the day before. Wow. Somebody had stolen her purse and her money. The family is well known in the area that own this restaurant. Even nationally, they've appeared on the Food Network, Travel Channel, and History Channel, showing off El Charro. Restaurant's been in
El
Tucson.
Charro like hoochie coochie?
Yeah. Restaurant's been in Tucson since 1922. The family famous for inventing the chimichanga.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
well, that's fantastic, Johnny. And to quote the mayor, who would have been paying no attention, we'll be back.
And now he would know what you got to go like this. Oh, wait. Oh, okay.
Look at the time.
Yeah.
We were talking about the restaurant business and thievery.
Yes.
My old friend, the late, great Mike Andrews, used to say, if they only steal 5%, I'm okay with them. Just keep it to 5%.
Yeah, no, they have to make plans like those. Speaking of stealing, Reavers has a public service announcement for all the desk jockeys and cubicle morons that work here.
We have a box of donuts on the little kitchen counter over here.
Yes.
There were 4 of them in there.
Yes.
All 4 had a notch cut out of them.
Yeah.
Eat the donut! The entire donut, you dummy!
You precious, beautiful people, just grab the donut, bring it back to your little cubicle, take a couple bites, save it for later, or throw it away. Do not cut a donut up.
I can guarantee you, tomorrow at noon, there'll be a little corner left in there, though somebody will have a little piece.
No, what we're going to do is the next time we get one of those pastries with like the lemon stuff inside, I'm going to tongue it all out of there and then put the donut back in there. Jeez, what the hell is wrong with you people? Are you so delicate? Are you counting calories that closely?
No, they're just being Minnesota. And the other thing is, congratulations to the soccer fans in Minnesota for not showing up last night for Tottenham.
Oh, I saw
and
that
AC
photo.
Milan. It looked like a prep bowl crowd. And considering it was a complete scam, and they both had their A teams back in Europe.
I was watching the Washington Avenue cams yesterday, Patrick, and those guys that flag you into the lots, they weren't getting a lot of takers.
And then we had the guys on the railroad tracks, too, Protest.
Speaking of Washington Avenue in downtown Minneapolis, John Haidt refusing to do the story story. But 11 years ago tonight, a very, very grim thing happened to us.
The bridge collapsed.
35W went down. It was, if I remember right.
The day after the Kevin Garnett trade, we were all gathered there for the press conference with some of the new Timberwolves, and all of a sudden, all the TV guys started packing up and leaving. I said, what the hell's going on?
Way to bring it back around on brand, Patrick.
The bridge collapsed.
Yeah. And I actually heard it. I was driving over the Franklin Avenue Bridge when that thing went down.
Twins game that night, too.
Yes.
They were heading to the Metrodome.
Yes.
Right, rush hour.
You're right. Yep.
Anyway, Johnny's got 3 items left for us.
So what if I don't want the whole donut? What if I just cut a little bit out?
And you are that guy.
Part, the cinnamon twist. Donut. I don't want the whole thing.
If I ever catch you doing that, I will tackle you.
One of Manifest's big things is don't eat the whole donut.
Don't eat the whole donut. Eat. Cut it up into little pieces. Enjoy. Savor the small bites that you have.
You can savor this.
You know what? Take a cut out of it. Put it in my mailbox. Okay. Don't put it back in the box.
I'll try to cut that.
So delicate and frail that you can only take a bite.
I just want to say, as a guy who just came back from 4 days of vacation, is pretty relaxed. Kenny and Chris are really worked up about some strange things here.
Yeah, they really
it's
are.
all that pent up rage.
Sort of sports thing here. A man who was wearing a plastic bucket on his head when a large metal pin fell from Wrigley Field center field scoreboard during a Cubs game says he feels lucky to be alive.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle McCallier was sitting with his family.
I feel lucky to be stupid. To go to a game with a bucket on my head, I feel lucky.
Did you have this already, Chris? Mm-hmm. Including his reaction?
We didn't have the reaction.
We weren't paying attention, John.
We just
don't
had
worry.
the bucket.
Chris didn't do a very good job.
That's
so
right.
We
weren't
really into it.
You've already.
John,
this is my version of FYI to Mr.
I did listen yesterday at 3:40.
I want to hear the story, John.
So you didn't have it then. I know that.
Okay, John. Here, let's go.
Kyle McAleer.
I am impatient.
Was sitting with his family and friends under the scoreboard in Wrigley when he was hit by a 6 to 8 inch pin during last week's game against the Diamondbacks.
Wow.
He said he was wearing a bucket with his family as a rally cap after he saw former Cubs player Starlin Castro wear one a few years back. He said he put the bucket on his head about a half inning before the injury. He said without it, he thinks he could have been killed.
I think the Lord protected him. Say, put this bucket on your head, buddy.
The rally cap worked.
Patrick, what are your thoughts on the whole rally cap concept?
Oh, it's a little worn out. It's kind of like the Gatorade bucket.
Have you ever had a rally cap? Have you ever done a rally cap?
I don't believe I ever.
Oh, my God.
I don't wear baseball hats.
Yeah. And if he did, he'd wear them the proper way.
My head is not not meant for hats.
You need the deep, like me. You can't have the shallow one.
You're right.
You know what it does? I got the protruding ears, Yeah. When you put the hat on, everybody sees the protruding ears.
You look like
when I was
Newman.
a kid, I don't know what happened. I guess my head got bigger. When I was a kid, it looked like I could attain flight.
You know what? Looking at your profile from my angle here, it's the shape of a yurt or an igloo kind of.
Yeah.
Yurt. Not made for hats. Hey, yurt head.
Hey, yurt head. What the hell you doing? Remember the 2 thieves who tried to steal an aquarium on a motorcycle last week? We had that story?
Yes.
A similar crime, and this time the guys got away with it. Authorities in Texas say 2 men stole a 50-inch television. You had this too?
No, I'm just messing with you.
Oh, okay. From a home, fled with a stolen TV on a motorcycle.
Attaboy.
Wow. The Brazoria County Sheriff's Office in Texas said security camera footage shows the 2 men arrive at a home on a bike and take a TV that had been screwed into a cabinet on the back patio. The men then fled on the motorcycle with the television sandwiched between them.
Set it there. Get away. Set it there. Get away.
Multiple witnesses snapped pictures of
the dragging. The guy losing is just dragging on the way.
Sparks are flying.
This is what Kenny said my head looked like.
A yurt.
Multiple
an odd shape right there.
Well, I think he was accurate then.
Multiple witnesses snapped photos of the unusual sight. Police said deputies followed the motorcycle but lost track of the suspects.
They lost them?
Yep, they're still looking for the 2 fellas. Huh. In Canada, Ontario police said a truck overturned on a provincial roadway spilled 3 tons of animal carcasses onto the roadway.
Rendering plant.
Gross. The driver taken to a hospital treated with minor injuries. The road was closed for 4 hours last night while crews worked to clean up the 3 tons of animals.
Can you imagine the flies?
My friend Swanee Landine, Lester Prairie, the rendering truck driver, I've told you this story. He had a dead horse that he shot in the back of the truck.
Yeah.
Decided to stop and have a couple of beers.
Of course.
And when he walked out, the horse was standing there looking at him.
Why'd you shoot me? Where are we going?
Got anything to eat?
And the great thing about the old twins, Calvin and those guys, Swanee, the rendering truck driver from Lester Prairie, and Jimmy Robertson, Calvin's brother, were like the best of buddies.
Wow.
I don't think the Polats hang out with the rendering truck drivers. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Thanks, Johnny.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Okay, minus Mr. Suchere, who's got 4 out of 5.
Mr. Suchere, for one lap, the official counting, one more early Wednesday departure remaining for the mayor. Hey, Bill Livingston from Cleveland will be with us to talk about the ongoing mess at Ohio State, where today the wife who was abused by the assistant, the ex-wife who was abused by the assistant coach, came out and offered the opinion that Urban Meyer knew about it. The coach there, so it's turning into quite a mess at Ohio State.
You're going to sort all that out.
And our buddy Buster Olney will be here to talk about the chaotic trading day. And probably we're bringing up more domestic abuse, the fact that Houston traded for Roberto Osuna, the relief pitcher from Toronto, who was charged with domestic abuse.
And how much money did you want to bet on Baltimore today?
I wanted to bet thousands, and now it's 5-2. The Yankees just hit a 3-run homer to cut a 7-2 lead. Oh, they got him out. Orioles win.
Okay,
Orioles beat the Yankees.
All right, and we win the money. Ryan is next.
We won thousands.
ESPN is KSTP St. Paul, Minneapolis.
Hi, this is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. It's crazy to think that a few weeks ago we were talking about whether or not Tua Tagovailoa should consider retiring. After 2 concussions and worldwide debates on player safety and NFL culpability, Tua has done nothing but go back to work and currently has the Dolphins riding a 3-game win streak and 1 loss behind the division favorite Buffalo Bills. While everyone was yapping about the end of his career, Tua Tagovailoa said he'll decide when it's time. And clearly, he's not ready to hang up the cleats. Hi, this is Chris Howard from the Plugged In with Chris Howard podcast. BetOnline.net is your #1 source for betting football and the start of the new basketball season. Find all the latest player developments, team matchups, news, podcasts, and in-depth analysis on every game. BetOnline remains your continued source for all your sports wagering information with live betting, up-to-the-minute scores for the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite games and events, including the MLB playoffs, the start of the NHL season, MMA, boxing, and golf. And if you love sports podcasts, you can find those at BetOnline as well. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts.